Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you have fun during your first Devox day. My name is Sébastien Stormacq. I'm tech sales for IBM. I'm based in Luxembourg. And my colleague.
Hello. My name is Abdoul Diallo, also technical sales in the IBM Software Group division.
A few words about us before starting. I've been developing Java code since 17 years. That's why I have some white hair on my head. 4 years in mobile application development. I joined IBM 1 year ago, and before that I spent 10 of my working years at Sun Microsystems. It's also my 10th Devox this year. I just missed the first edition 11 years ago. I have 2 kids, 1 m and 74 kilograms.
Okay, my name is Abdul, as I already said. I am developing in Java since more than 8 years now. I work for IBM for 6 years, and this is my 4th Devox event. On the personal side, I have 2 kids. I have some metrics, 1 m and 69 kilos, but that varies a lot. So, today we will show you how you can build a hybrid type of application using open standard technologies. So let me briefly introduce you some of the technologies we are going to use. The first one is the Dojo toolkit, which is a very popular JavaScript toolkit that lets you effectively build web application and also mobile applications. It's was developed in 2004 by Alex Russell and some other developers. It's very popular among the developers community, and it's the mostly used JavaScript framework for IBM products. Apache Cordova is one of the tools that we will also use in this demonstration. It's the former name, the new name of a well-known JavaScript library, which was the PhoneGap JavaScript framework. This tool lets you actually benefit from the native functionalities that are available on your mobile devices without having to code specific native code to use those functionalities, such as the GPS, the camera, and for instance, the address list. So by using Apache Cordova, you can leverage those functionalities without having to know Objective-C or Java or any other native language. So the tool that we will show you today is the IBM Worklight. This tool integrates those technologies such as the Dojo JavaScript framework and Apache Cordova. IBM Worklight is a tool that actually we call a MIP. It's a mobile enterprise application platform. It provides you with all the necessary tooling to build on an effective way your mobile application. That's one part of the story, but the second one is that this lets you also do everything related to the management of the lifecycle management of the application that you will build. Basically, it consists of 3 main components. The first one is one integrated development environment. This is based on Eclipse. It provides you with all the necessary tooling to build your application. So we provide WYSIWYG functionalities, simulators, as Sébastien will show you during the demonstration, and also debugging mechanism. The second component is a runtime component that we call the Worklight server. This is actually a runtime where you deploy effectively the application that you developed. And this is also the place where you do all the connectivity with your existing backend system. So what we want to emphasize here is that the tooling provides you with all the necessary means to leverage actually the existing backend services that you have in your enterprise. And also everything regarding security and notification is handled at this level. The third component functionality that we also provide in the Worklight server is an administration interface that lets you do the lifecycle management of your application. And the the last one is with your developed applications. Those are packaged with some JavaScript library to let you do effectively the communication between the application that is running on your mobile device and the Worklight server. So for my part, enough slide deck. Let's now start the demonstration to show you effectively how you can combine all these tools to build a nice application.
It's a tools in action, so we want to stop the slide now and
Exactly.
dive into the code. Yeah. I will build in front of you a mobile application from scratch. I will start with a new project. That will be a mobile application that I will try at the end of this session to deploy on my iPhone there. That application will allow the user to take a picture. I'll try to make a good picture of the audience. Take the GPS localization of the user at that time and send that to the Worklight server. The Worklight server, in turn, will post that information to a REST-based web service. The web service is hosted on Web3 Liberty profile and provides a web page so that we can see what's happening on that web service. So it's a simple index HTML page. With also a GET API to fetch the picture that have been posted by the Worklight server. And I'm using HTML5 SSE events to push the information from the web server to the browser. So obviously the bottom part of the screen will not be part of the demo. This is already developed and working here. And I will develop in front of you the upper part, the mobile application, and the small part of connectivity that is needed on the server, on the Worklight server, to call the REST-based services. So let's go and let's show you Worklight. The IDE is based on the Eclipse, and first step is obviously to create a new Worklight project. Let's call it a demo, and the application will be called demo as well. Today we are talking about Dojo, but with Worklight you can also use Sencha Touch or jQuery Mobile. Let's pick Dojo. So he's creating a project for me with all the required artifacts and the project structure for that. So he created a directory called common, where all the common code between different platforms, iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, will be there. So there is style sheets, image, JavaScript, and a single page for now with demo.html. I can also create some new environment. An environment in Worklight is actually a physical platform where you want to deploy your application. So I can choose between iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, and we are adding, sometimes removing them as well. The iGoogle, for example, will not be there in next version because Google did abandon the iGoogle project. So I'm adding my iPhone application here, and next to my common directory now I have an iPhone directory with specific code that I would like to add for the iPhone. Let's open my demo.html page. I can see the source code, the design view. I can split the editor vertically or horizontally. I prefer that one. And you can see this is a live demo. I'm not hiding there for you. There are sometimes some error message or some small bugs in the development environment. So let's get rid of that error message. I have a very short template which has been created here. Let's remove the generic part. And on the right side, you can see that I have widgets, Dojo mobile widgets that have been provided to me. So let's add a scroll view. The scroll view is the main user interface element you will see in almost every mobile application. So let's call that view, set as default view, include a heading, and the heading will be man. While I'm clicking on finish, he's generating a Dojo skeleton for me. So he's including all the required Dojo libraries to have this user interface up and running. So I have my scrollable view here called man view with a header, with a label man, and fixed at the top of the screen. This is exactly what I need. To avoid some further problem later, I will put visibility hidden here. Too long to explain why, but I can explain you after the session if you are very curious about that. The next component I will add in my user interface is a list. You know, the type of list that you see in most mobile applications. In Dojo world, it's called edge-to-edge list. So I'm adding that into the project. It will add the required library for that list. And it creates one item for by default for me. I will need later to refer to that list programmatically. So I'm adding an ID to that list, picture list, so that later I can write code that fetch that list. I will show you why. I can change the label, take picture. Let's add a pretty icon to make the application a little bit, oops, with the resolution change, it's not easy. I don't know where I can, where I can have that icon. It's there. Oops, sorry. I am used to work on a bigger screen than today. So I've added an icon, and I will reference that icon in my list. Let's add icon, image plus PNG. Here is my icon, and I'd like to navigate from that entry to another screen to actually take the picture. So I will give the URL of the other screen, take picture.html, and I will tell Dojo how to go there, so which transition I want to use. If you forget about one of these keywords, you can always use, of course, the code completion, transition, and I'd like to slide, you know, the regular sliding effect when you are using a mobile application. So this is already something. Let's try that application in my preview phone simulator. I have the application which is there. I have the header, man, and the take picture, nothing happens. There is a small glitch here. That's due to the way Dojo is actually loading the theme for the different device. It's loading the theme a little bit too late using its default loading mechanism. So we have to tell Dojo to load that theme sooner in the page lifecycle. So let's just add this type equal text JavaScript source equal oops dot JavaScript and close that, and now my theme will be correct. So I said in my item list that I have to navigate towards the takepicture.html. Actually, it's not a full new page. It's just an HTML fragment that I'd like to dynamically load into this application. So let's create that fragment, new file, takepicture.html. Here I'm back in my editor, and obviously I will not type everything in front of you. That would be a little bit too long, and the risk to make errors would be way too high. So I'm copy-pasting this, and let's have a look together at that code. This fragment is a div with a scrollable view like the one we did before, with a heading, and the heading will be the title take picture and a back button that moves to the main view, the one we've built together just before. So I will be able to navigate between these two views. And the content of that scroll view is a very simple HTML table with 3 lines. First line is a round rectangle with the text click to take picture. And on click, I will call 2 JavaScript functions that we will implement soon, take photo and get geolocalization. The second line is actually an image with no reference. We will inject the image dynamically into that HTML tag. And the third one is a button with the on-click send photo JavaScript that we will implement that will actually talk to the server to post the picture. So nothing really difficult here. No magic. I can test my navigation again in my preview browser. I can go to this page where I have my 3 lines, click to take picture, the picture that will be displayed, and the send photo, and back to my screen. That looks quite good so far. So now we have to write some JavaScript because we have to implement the methods. Let's remind me the name of these methods, take photo and get geolocation. So let's start with the first one, function take photo. Oops. And this is the part where I will invoke Cordova, PhoneGap. PhoneGap will allow me to access native capabilities of my device, so the camera, for example. There is a top-level object called navigator.camera with a method getPicture. If I'm choosing that method, he will create a template for me. It's a one simple method to call to take a picture with 3 params. First param is the function to call on success when you actually manage to take a picture. The second one is another function for on error, and then it's a block with few parameters. The 2 that are interesting there is the type of data that the call will return. It can either return an HTTP URL or return the base64 encode picture. Here I want to post that to the server, so I'll use the base64 version. And the source of the picture, it can be either the camera or your existing photo library if you want to reuse one of the photos you have already taken. To avoid errors, let's copy-paste my implementation of that function instead of taking that one, and have a quick look at what's going to happen. Oops. Navigator camera get picture on success. The first line is logging. We're using the Worklight API, starting with WL. Then dynamically retrieve the image HTML element. And if I have some data that are provided, turn that element visible. And actually call the method display to attach the image data to the image tag. I will implement that method in a few moments. I'm also saving the image in a global variable for future reference. You will show that later. So that's quite easy. Let's implement my global method and define some global variable for communication between the different parts of the screen of the application, between the different screens of the application, so that it can work. Let's implement the second function geolocalization. Okay, I will copy paste a good implementation just after. I'm not worrying about navigator.geolocalization get current position. This is the second call to Cordova. One method, navigator geolocalization get current position, with 3 params: on success, on errors, and a couple of parameter you want to give to the GPS. So it's extremely easy to use a Cordova function in such environment. Once again, let's copy paste my implementation to avoid any typing mistakes or errors. And I'm just keeping the position received on success. I'm storing that in a global variable, and I will use that at a later stage. So this is the right time to actually test our implementation. Let's start the preview browser and take picture and click, and nothing happens. That's totally normal because this is a very, very basic browser that allows you just to test the user interface. So we do provide some more advanced browser, but for that we have to compile the application and deploy that on the Worklight server. Then I can connect to the Worklight console. This is not needed right now. And this is the development version of the Worklight console. I can see all the applications that have been deployed. I can do some stuff on this application. I can show you that after the talk if you're interested. But mostly I can also start the iPhone emulator, an IBM provided iPhone emulator. Oops. View actual size. View actual size. Okay. Let's just restart. Yes. Because of the screen size change. It was Chrome was started before. So here I have a more complex simulator where I can also simulate some device capabilities. For example, I'd like to simulate the camera interface. I will take that picture, take picture, click to take picture, and I can see that the picture is there. The send photo is not implemented yet, so we're gonna do that as a next step. I have 10 minutes left, 11 minutes left. To send the picture, I told you that the mobile application always talks to the Worklight server. So the next piece I need to do is have a small piece of code on the Worklight server to actually call my REST-based web services. This is what we call an adapter in Worklight, and there is an adapter folder in my project, so I can create a new Worklight adapter. Let's call it photo adapter. And I can choose between 3 different types of adapter. Let's choose HTTP adapter for now. An adapter is mostly 2 things: an XML file that defines where to connect to, and a JavaScript to say what to do once we are connected. So this file is generated for me automatically with a sample adapter that connects to a CNN RSS feed or something. I just have to change the address of my web service, localhost, my port number, 9080, and give the name of the JavaScript that will run on the server side that I can call from the client side, which I think is a send photo. Then we will implement the JavaScript part of that adapter. So let's take the second file here. Let's remove everything it generated for me. And this is my send photo. Send photo is very, very simple. I'm taking a simple JavaScript object saying how to call the web service, get, post, what URL, the base part of the URL is in the other file, what content type, and the actual content that I will receive as a parameter here. And then use the Worklight API to invoke my adapter. So this small piece of code will run on the server side and will allows me to post information to the Worklight server and then to the REST-based web services. I can try an adapter directly from here. So I give the name of the adapter, the name of the method, and I can run it. And we can see that the call is successful, that I have a 200 return code. Let's do that again to avoid a bug in my code. And let's run it a second time. Now, if I'm switching to my web page, I can see that there are 2 pictures of Divox with a map of Belgium and an approximative location of Antwerp being given. So now let's do that from the mobile application itself. I have to implement the send photo method, function send photo. Actually, this is the longest method, the longest part in the code. I will copy it from there and explain what it does. Big part is in comment. We will show that just after. To call the adapter, so this is the code that will run on the mobile and call the adapter on the server. So I give the name of the adapter, the name of the JavaScript method, and the JSON object with the parameters, the latitude, the longitude, and the photo data, the base64 photo data. Then I'm using Worklight. Maybe I can zoom a little bit there. I'm using Worklight API to start a busy indicator, you know, a small wheel that will show the user that we are progressing, and invoke that procedure, invoke the adapter on the server side. I have a method on success, a method on failure that reports an error, and that's pretty it. We now have our implementation, which is completed. So if the implementation is complete, it's time to test it. Let's deploy this on the server again and refresh. Let's see, yes, the time has changed. I have the adapter now, which is there. And let's take a picture. Let's take a different picture just to show you that I'm really taking picture. That's my test picture, and do send photo. In everything is okay. In that page of my web app, I should have, and that's the demo effect, I should have the picture to be shown. So send photo, take picture, and the name of and the name, it's a send photo, so it should have been okay. I probably missed something somewhere, but that's, and I have 7 minutes left to continue. The data was not sent. The adapter test runs correctly. Yes. So let's try again. Just deploy, build and deploy. Let's close this. And let's close this. Let's refresh here. Okay. Let's take a picture. Let's open my server page. Click to take a picture. Send picture twice. And yes, I have picture that have been sent. So they should appear here. And they doesn't appear. That's the demo that has been repeated 10 times in the last few days and always worked. And of course, right now it doesn't work. So in 5 minutes, it's very short to debug that. What I will show you is just how to view the picture that you've seen in the user interface. When going back to the main screen, I'd like to add one line here with the picture, and clicking on that line brings me to the other page. So that's quite easy. I just have to build a new HTML segment for that. So let's create a page for that. New file, view picture.html. And add the required HTML for that. It's just a div, like we did before, with an image, with no source in it, and a JavaScript method called load image to display, which is called before the transition. So we have a time to catch up just before the transition occurs to actually load that image and put that into the HTML image tag that we have done. So I have to implement that JavaScript method and add it to my JavaScript. So 4 minutes time to deploy. Let's run as build and deploy. Starting the build process. Okay, it's done. I have a new version there. I can take a picture. I can send the picture. And now if I'm going back, I have one line with the date in. That was the easiest way for me to show you that it changed. That's the date of today. And when I'm clicking here, I should go to the other, but once the demo starts to fail, obviously everything starts to fail. So the last part, for the last 3 minutes, I will deploy that to the iPhone. Obviously it will not work better, but at least you can see that from the Worklight environment, I can start the Xcode environment if you are running on a Mac, obviously. So a real iOS iPhone project is created and is available to view, to change, to modify, to inspect in Xcode, Apple's development environment. You can deploy to the Apple simulator, or you can deploy to a real phone like that one. The very, very, very first time you start a new application, it takes a long time to actually attach the debugger to that. It has nothing to do with Worklight. This is how Xcode behaves on this version of Xcode. So while is compiling and deploying that to the iPhone, let's recap the Cordova call: navigator camera get picture, one method call for the picture; navigator geolocation get current position, one method call for the GPS information. And if you want to have access to the source code of this demo, it's available on bitbuckets.org, and you will have the URL in the slides.
Okay. So to do a small recap, you haven't seen the demo, but you can actually, if you want to try this tooling, it's freely available. So it's you can easily build an application with complex functionalities as having native functionality on your device. It's based on open standard technologies, and within your Eclipse environment, it's free for developers. So the only thing you need to do is to go on the Eclipse marketplace and type in Worklight. You have all the plugins downloaded, and you are ready to start with the product. So basically, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Let's just finish. Before uploading, I'm trying to take a picture. I don't know, you cannot see on the screen. So I will take a picture of you with all the lights. Nobody will be visible really on that. I'm clicking on use that picture, send the photo. He's posting the photo, and yes, the demo gods are with us. It's
it worked.
And that being said, we are short for Q&A, but we knew that. It's a 30-minute session, it's very short, so if you want to take questions, you can come after the talk and talk to us.
Can share
Thank you.
Thank you.